Hi. Okay, so today's training. How are you guys doing? How to price your services. This training is actually for beginners. So if you have been at your service, performing your service for a while, there's a couple more things that kind of go into pricing a little bit deeper to get you the actual, money that you want to make. But as we're starting out, sometimes pricing can be a little bit confusing. We don't know what to charge. So we just ask people, what do you think that I should charge for this particular service? And unfortunately, most of the people you're asking have no idea, right? They're just telling you what they're willing to pay. So I have a couple of tips for you here. So let's say you are a beginner esthetician slash artist, whatever it is that you're doing, service provider, right? So let's talk about taking models. Okay. When we take models, model pricing should be the cost of your supplies plus whatever they want to tip you. Okay. So when we say model pricing, we say model pricing because the person is a model, right? Either we're super new at our craft, we don't want to mess anything up, or we need pictures, video, testimonials, or both, right? So this is a really good way to get pictures, videos, testimonials, and a little bit of practice model pricing. So if it costs you in supplies $20 to do a full set of lash extensions, then that's what we're going to charge, right? And if they want to give you a tip, they can give you a tip. But your tip really is the fact that you're going to be getting pictures, videos, and hopefully a great testimonial. If you don't get a great testimonial, that's okay. Just use it for constructive criticism. Try to be better next time and don't post that review. Okay. All right. Number 2, market research. So this one's really good. Instead of asking your friends and your peers what you should be charging for your services, do some market research. Okay. There are other people in your area that are doing what you do. So what we need to do is we need to get on Instagram, we need to get on Google, we need to get on Facebook, right? And we need to go to these people's websites and see what they're charging for the services that you're going to be offering, right? So I'm not saying go to the person down the street and look at their website and copy all their prices, because this person may have been doing whatever it is that you're going to be doing for 20 years. And maybe they have 18 certifications and maybe they have a master's degree in whatever it is, right? So what we want to do is we want to look up probably 5 to 10 businesses, right, that are doing what it is you want to do, and then take the collective. You can kind of see by looking at people's websites kind of where people are in the luxury bargain basement range, right? We don't want to find ourselves in the bargain basement range ever. I don't care if you're a beginner. We don't want to be the lowest, because that's a race to the bottom that nobody wins. But if you are still relatively new, pricing your services way up here in the luxury range probably isn't going to work real well for you, because people are going to be expecting a certain result when they pay that much money. And if you are not yet skilled enough to give them that result, then they're probably not going to come back to you. So we want to kind of just price ourselves somewhere in the middle, right? So 5 to 10 other businesses, go to their website, stalk the pricing, kind of see what the range is. If you're brand spanking new, maybe you're the upper bottom third of the pricing. If you've been doing it for a little bit and you're comfortable, maybe you're in the middle, just throw yourself right in the middle. If you've got certifications, if you've been doing this for a while, or you really are super confident in your skill set, then go ahead and price yourself up there. Okay. The third thing is, how much do you want to make in month 6 through 18? Okay, so this is a 12-month period, right? But I never count the first 6 months of business, because frankly, we're still figuring shit out, right? So it's not like you're going to open your doors on Monday and on Tuesday you're going to have a full book of clients. That doesn't start happening like regular, consistent clientele, even with awesome marketing. Like if you followed every little step that I gave you, right, in my coaching program, then I would say probably at about 6 months, you're going to see activity starting to kind of be consistent, right? But those first few months are really tough. So when we're talking about what we want to make in our first year is kind of our first year of having somewhat consistent clientele, which is generally month 6 through month 18, right? So what you want to do, or what I want you to do, is I want you to figure out how much you want to make in that first year of business that you have consistent clientele, right? So do you want to make 100K? Well, of course we all do, but it might take a little bit longer to get there than that, but maybe not. Hey, right? You shoot for the stars, you land on the moon, something like that. But I would say in general, especially if you've got another job that you're working around and this is kind of your side hustle right now, if you say, I would like to make $24,000 in months 16 to 18. That's a really good side gig for me. That would allow me to kind of get the motor running, kind of get the ball in motion to leave my day job, right? So let's say you want to make $24,000 in that particular 12-month period. That's $2,000 a month. So that's what that's our goal. That's what we're kind of planning on doing. So the next thing that you need to do is figure out how much you want to work. How much do you want to work to make that $2,000 a month, right? So if you can only work 5 hours a week, or if you can only work 10 hours a week, or maybe you can work 20 hours a week, this is where we start doing some math and we figure out pricing, right? Price accordingly. So I'm just going to write on my little handy dandy whiteboard here. So let's say, I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see that? Okay. Well, let's start up here real quick. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You want to make 2K. Okay. So just to make the math easy, that's $500 a week, right? Okay. And to make the math really, really easier, let's say that you are charging $100 for your main service, the one that you're going to be selling all the time. It's $100 for that service. Okay. So how many of those services do you have to do to make your $500 a week? Easy. I made the math really easy. You've got to do 5 of those services. Okay. 5 of those services every single week. Now, let's say you're doing 5 of those services. Those services are 2 hours. Okay. That's a 2-hour long service. So we're looking at 10 hours a week. Okay. If you can do 10 hours a week and you are pricing your services at $100 for every single one of those services, and your goal is $500 a week, that means you've got to do 5 of those services, which will get you $2,000 a month, which will get you $24,000 a year. Right. So this is kind of the math. I kind of did the math a little bit backwards, but this is something that we go through in the SFSB, the 6-figure solo biz, the group coaching program that I have, right? We figure out exactly whether you've got a job that you're working around or you're jumping in with 2 feet. You're like, I just quit my job. I got a savings account to live on for the next 6 months. I got to make this work. Okay, awesome. So let's make it work. It really is a numbers game. Okay. Business is a numbers game. Those are the numbers. Those numbers, that's it. Numbers do not lie, right? Facts do not lie. It's the numbers. So we what we need to do is we come up with a program. We come up with marketing plans, business strategy plans, a business plan to figure out how to get you to the money that you want to make. And as long as it's not some astronomical, like pie in the sky number that no one is ever going to make, we can get you there. The only caveat to that is that you need to be willing to do the work, right? So when we hang our sign out on our door that says, hey, I'm open for business, that does not mean that you are going to have a line outside your front door tomorrow for people coming to get the service. Like social media and online marketing has done absolutely wonders for all of us that have businesses, right? It gives us instant access and a lot of times free access to other human beings that might be interested in our service. Okay. So that's great. That's awesome. There's never been a time like this ever before in the history of man, right? For business owners, this is a gold mine. However, you're not the only one with a business trying to get clients that are hanging out online, right? So if you don't want to spend money for ads, which when we go through the SFSB, when we go through the 6-figure solo biz program, I teach you how to get clients without spending ad money. I have my reasons for that, and I go into that in the program. But basically, in a nutshell, I want you to learn how to get clients organically before we start paying other people and before we start paying for ads, right? Because it's a whole branding thing. It's a whole knowing who your ideal client avatar is. It's all that kind of stuff. But anyway, we'll stay away from that. So anyway, what I was saying is we figure out a way for you by the numbers to figure out how we're going to get as many contacts as we need, right? Contacts meaning how many people are you going to have to talk to every single week to get 5 of those people to come in and see you, right? If you're just selling by the DMs, then it's going to be a lot. It's still free, so it's okay. It's just a time game, right? But if you don't put the time in and you don't put the effort in and you don't put the energy in, it's not going to happen for you, right? Now, if you're talking to people in person, if you're going to in-person networking events and you're trying to get 5 people to come in to see you, you're working your personality, you know what you're talking about, you're the expert in your industry, that's going to be much easier, right? So there's online, there's in person, there's all sorts of marketing strategies that we can use. So if you have any more questions on this, if you are not a beginner and you want to go through pricing for maybe a price increase, maybe you've been in business for 3 years and you're like, I'm still at the same pricing that I was when I started my business 3 years ago, help me, right? Easy peasy. We can do that. Pricing is actually something that I love to talk about. All right. So SFSB, all of the information for this, everything that I mentioned is going to be in the links below. So if you want to learn more about the program, you can certainly click on the link and learn more about the program. If you want to send me an email or if you want to get in touch with me on Instagram, all of my handles are going to be below. I hope that this was short and sweet and informative, and I will see you guys next time.